going to be joined by the Benders and the Stockingtons, and we're going to talk about such as and whatnots. Bender, getting the Bender.
Good morning.
Bender said it again.
You're gonna get that every day because it's just this. Like, I'll come up with something else. Like, I don't know. I'll think of something else. But if we have to talk about my salutation every day, then
Well, if you always say it's a good morning, it just like when the market closes, you always say the market is closed, and then it becomes official. So when you say good morning, it's the same thing that you are defining this morning.
we do not need to have a conversation about this. Morning, hell's morning.
Morning. See, you could do that, and then it's just like, okay, well, it's just morning.
Yeah.
No, I guess so. I don't want to talk about the other stuff though. I just
Well.
really.
I think it has to happen.
I don't wanna. Yeah. So Walmart comes out yesterday, says what they say. Look, so much of what Walmart was saying has been talked about and thrown back and forth and stated and restated and quintuple stated 37,000 times over the last, say, 3 to 5 weeks. As far as inventory glut, having the wrong inventory, sales slowing down, all these, it's like every last bit of it was cooked in. So kicking the dick there, right? This morning shop, says that they're laying workers off. That can be looked as bullish individually for shop as far as, potentially improving their margins. But at the same time, another kick in the dick. Kicking the dick. Left, right, sideways. Kicking the dick. Big ERs tonight. I don't know how these will play out. Google is a big one. Microsoft is another. Texas Instruments, I think, is going to be pretty big at the same time. So there's some pretty big things hanging out there. And then tomorrow we have Fed. And then we have Apple and Amazon. Tis the season for kicking the dick until they're done. That is my morning report. I just don't know what else to say. I don't know if there is anything else to necessarily say about it. It's like, this is the environment. These companies, I think in a lot of ways are trying to their best to send a message to the Fed saying you need to cool the fuck out with what you're doing. I think they're trying to send a very deliberate message because I don't know if there's a reason why Walmart should have stepped out and said that. I don't know if there's a reason Shop should have stepped out and done that. Several of these companies that are coming out before earnings, when earnings are just right around the corner, how they're stepping out and making these statements. All of this is happening, before the Fed comes out, raises rates again, and then gives supposed some type of guidance moving forward. I think everything is being telegraphed as much as humanly possible by industry to the Fed saying you need to cool out. Whether or not they take the clue, whether or not they take the hint, whether or not it's something that can be done, who knows? But we do know we did get consumer confidence and we get new home sales 30 minutes after they open. So that could be yet another, wait for it, kicking the dick.
Kicking the dick.
Kicking the dick.
No, and nobody likes those. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that, or somebody out there somewhere that's like, oh, please just kick me in the dick. I love that.
Right, but it's like, you remember the cartoons growing up? It's like, that was always funny. It's like somebody gets kicked in the dick. It's like, that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think once you get older, I think that a lot of that, kind of wears off. That humor wears off. It's like, wow, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. So look, it's like we know flow has not been great. I've hated Apple flow the past several sessions, which is not a good indicator. I have not really appreciated Google flow since last week, pre-snap. There's a lot of flow out there that's just not good. Now, there's several areas where flow's been okay, but for the most part, flow has not been great. It just hasn't. But we have to have that. One of the things I mentioned yesterday was the fact that, you know what, from the standpoint of them being risk off and them being hedged, going into a massive ER week and a Fed announcement, they're pretty sewed up over there. They are hedged, they are risk off, they are all those things. So coming into a day like today and into tomorrow, the question becomes is like, so do they cover out some of these shorts? Do they re-hedge back the other way, or are we at this level? And then Bender's going to go through the charts here in a minute. Are we at a level to where it really doesn't matter? You can flip a coin and it's gravy. So Bender, is it gravy?
Not looking so gravy.
Yeah.
Not looking so gravy. So here is a 55-minute chart. What does that look like? Does that look gravy?
Looks like a Head and Shoulders that if it consolidates long enough can turn into a bull flag, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the positive thinking. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And the messaging from, last week kind of remains the same, which is, we've got this, what I said was like a high traffic, heavy congestion area up to about 4040 that we need to get over in a meaningful way, because there is supply in there. And if we don't get through it, then, the longer that we stay below it, the more that, to me, it looks like we're going to retest some of those levels of quote unquote support. I pair this with, and I put this in the messaging this morning, I pair this with the fact that on the daily, stochastics looks like it may be rolling over from, now it's sitting at overbought. And it can stay that way for a little while. But if we start to move lower from here, it's going to look like it has rolled over across to the downside, and then we need to start looking at, obviously short opportunities, but also, the levels of support that, we need to be mindful of. So at least in the near term, we're currently sitting at 39.52, and between 39 and 58 and 39.66, so only 8 points there. You have just above, you have the 10, the 20, and the 50 all squished together on the 60-minute. So above 39.66 to get through those. If we do manage to do that, then we've got 39.80 was a previous level of resistance, obviously the whole number of 4,000, and then 40.30 to 40.40. Obviously there's some stuff in between, but really 40.30 to 40.40, like that's what we need to get through. Levels below the 39.30s area is on that chart I just posted. That's that red trend line support that goes way back. That comes in around the 39.30s. 39.20 is the 50 MA on the daily. Then you got the whole number 3900, and then 38.70 was previous support. So those are the levels I'm looking at. But yeah, right now, not looking all that fantastic. Would not be a surprise to go see a retest of even up to, like I said, 40.30, 40.40. Now, if we blast through that, then it starts to look a lot better. But if we don't, if we just continue to check 4,000 and 40.20s and go, no, I'm not going to do it, then it doesn't look so great.
So how are you looking at the day?
I right now I want to see.
We just had an algo fire.
Yeah, I see that. I want to see. I want to see us either blast through 3966, come back and recheck that as support to hold above those moving averages. 3966, well, 65 being the 50 MA on the 60 minute. Then it might look okay, at least short term, for a test at 3980 and then potentially 4000. On the flip side, under 3950, we start looking at that 3932 area for trendline support. So I think you can play it, to the downside. If that breaks, I think you can play it down to, we'll probably go down to the 3930s. So a couple points there. Be aware that 3920, if you're, trailing stops, 3920 to 50 MA on the daily. That gives, then we'll probably see a retest at 3900. So right now, above 3966 or below 3950, and then hold below it.
So the only thing I'm really hearing from you is, again, we're stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
It's just like we're stuck in the
Absolutely.
middle, and there's obvious pressure to the downside.
Yeah.
Like that's like we're stuck in the middle, and the pressure is to the downside, and that's how we have to. I don't want to say look at it and play it, but it's like that's just those are the cards on the table.
Yeah.
We're stuck in the middle. These are the cards. This is what we got. This is how to deal.
Yeah. I mean, 3945. Right now, if you drew a line at 3945, you would see that. Okay, yeah, we've bounced off that level a few times over the last week and a half. And we could continue to ping pong. Again, that trend line support, just below that 39, I don't know, 3936 or so. But I think below that, I think we get a potentially bigger move to the downside. But yeah, we are just hanging on by a thread.
So the only other lines that I'm going to offer up are going to be UVXY based. 1180 is an area of interest, and then above that, if 1180 gets popped, which we're right there on the doorstep of that being popped, we will make a move over 12 at that point, and 1220ish somewhere in there needs to fall out, needs to reject and give up. Otherwise, we will be in a position to where it is putting in a definitive bottom, near-term bottom, and we know how momentum can move things. So we have to keep all that in mind with these ERs on deck, with the Fed tomorrow. Just look, I don't. It's like, honestly, Bender, it's like I said it yesterday, and I wish I would have listened to myself and been like, fuck it. I don't even need to do shit this week. I need to go ahead and just mail it in and be like, I'll see y'all next week. Or nothing else until after Thursday. And just make Friday a bang out trade day for me. It's how I'm feeling walking into this day at the same time, because it doesn't look like you can be right for any given period of time. Like, you can be right for a little bit, but you're going to get jerked. You're going to get moved because there's so many conflicting data points and headlines and reports that are coming out constantly throughout the day and throughout the week that it becomes very, very difficult to actually put a trade on. You can play scalp, but you can't put a trade on.
Yeah.
And that's it's agonizing in a lot of ways. So it is what it is. I don't think there's any point in belaboring it. Do we know what that algo fire was?
I don't.
Yeah, neither do I. All right.
House price index came out, maybe. That's it.
Thought that was 30 minutes after open. Maybe I'm wrong.
USFA FHFA house price index May 1.4%, estimated 1.5%, previous 1.6%. That's all I got.
Yeah. And then we get consumer confidence, obviously, in new home sales. So we get that, as well as Richmond manufacturing, and some other data points throughout the
Julian
morning.
just posted something too. Look in the chat there.
Oh, it looks gloomy. Linda, it's gloomy outside. It's gloomy and uncertain. God. Oh, man. All right. Stockington.
Yeah. Nothing gloomier than all those dick kicks. Man.
Right?
It's like, I just woke up. What the hell?
It happens.
All right. So I got my list out there. Let's see. Apple. I was looking at this dark pool that worked as support yesterday to hold, which it has not. That was 152.34. That's where I was going to potentially take Apple short. So going to be watching for a retest of that. I also had a line above 152.6 if Apple was going to make a move to the upside. And then I'll be watching 151.75 to the downside, basically just pre-market support. Also, Apple getting dangerously close to confirming a bear reversal pattern here on a longer time frame.
Which ticker was that?
That's Apple.
Okay.
I can drop a longer term time frame chart here in the room. That's Apple. AMD, I was looking at potentially taking AMD short under 87.2. Or about, they had a dark pool here that's sitting on 87.08. So it's basically right there. AMD got some dark pool last night, 166 million at 84.78. So that would probably be something that's going to need to break above if we want to go up. AMD actually kind of looked like a potentially bullish reversal channel, and Nvidia also was both AMD and Nvidia end of the day yesterday got some call buying, so that was something I'll be watching. Nvidia, I had a line that it's already kind of sitting on right now, 168.3, potentially take a short if we go below that. And then to the upside, I've got marked up 171.25, basically yesterday's upper orb. And then I had Microsoft, just because they slapped Microsoft with some pretty good dark pool at 258.83 last night. That was 696 million on that line. Just a couple other quick things of note. They hit SPY at 395.56 last night. SPY was an inside day yesterday, and we saw the bounce yesterday at 393.25. So if we give up that, everyone who went long on SPY yesterday will be red. So that's something to keep in mind. I dropped my UVXY, potentially bullish reversal channel there in the chart in the room. And then the other notable one was from our boy Sun. They slapped Goldman Sachs with big money last night. So if you like to watch that one, they hit Goldman Sachs at 324.12 with almost $1 billion there. So good line to mark on your chart. And that's all I got.
All right. Well, I don't know really what else there is to say other than we have data, we have VRs, we have all this shit. We have a bunch of stuff. And so we'll try to trade the best we can. It's like I'll be watching flow for the most part. I don't know how engaged I'll be for the day. I'm just putting that out there now. If I see something, I'll play it as it is now. I got to take a hit to the face on that Tesla play I got into yesterday. That's gonna punch me right in the face. And then we'll see how the couple of SPY contracts that I've left over, how they're pricing out at open. And I'll make a decision what to do with those then. But outside of that, we are where we are. Nobody has any answers. Nobody knows what the next 72 hours will bring. Nobody knows how Google is going to report. Nobody knows how Microsoft's going to report. Nobody knows what the market reaction is going to be to those results either way. Nobody knows what the Fed is actually going to say regarding guidance moving forward. Nobody knows how Amazon's going to report. Nobody knows how Apple's going to report. So what did we just go through? A whole fuck ton of nobody knows. And now we get to watch the machine do what it's going to do. Anyways, that's all I got. We have about 20 minutes. You got anything, Bender?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So see you in about 20 minutes.